Hello and welcome to the Morningscape podcast. I am Matt Moody, joined by DJ Mitchell, here to go through Thursday's, I don't even know how many games there are, NHL slate. 6:45 start, just pulling out all the stops for this podcast here. Let's get into it.
You're sitting there looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong.
It turns out I got the push alert to my phone that the YouTube went live, and it's a 12-game slate. Thank you for counting, DJ. How are you doing today?
Good. I don't want to run over your intro or click buttons without your your say. So I didn't want to say anything, but it was in the title. So good reading comprehension skills. Everything's good on my end. Just watching the Sabres here on the side. So if I make any loud guttural noises of anger, that's what it is. Not much joy when you're a Buffalo Sabres fan. How was your wonderful Wednesday going?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when the Sabres won a game and they were the best team on the planet. So I'm kind of don't feel sympathy for you, even though I feel like we're in the same camp. Like I truly do not understand the highs and lows of how you deal with sports.
You don't, but you don't understand is that I have mental problems. That's what
I mean, you think I don't? Like, I don't think I'm passing as a pure normie in the eyes of anyone listening to this. So
they score. They were scored. They suck. I hate them. I'm gonna be mad all podcast. I'm gonna Kozak. Okay. Yeah, I'm also trying to fix our studio in the background, and I just spelled the word install wrong. So great that didn't work, in case you're wondering, because that's stupid. Is that any different than normal?
I gotta say, I was surprised to see that the 12th game is on the slate. The ESPN Plus has 2 games tomorrow, and they told Chicago Tampa to start at 6:45 so that I guess they could start LA Dallas at 9:30. It's listed as a 9 o'clock start. It's just the classic NHL thing where just like, I mean, just fuck everyone who wants to watch hockey. Like literally, just fuck them. Like we do not care about them. So like,
what's crazy? This would be the first time the NHL did something stupid all season long. Remember the opening night where they're just like, "What if we have the worst possible slate? Let's do that." People are gonna tune in. Can't wait.
I mean, the people are just clamoring for that Chicago Tampa game to be on the slate. So thankfully, DraftKings hooked us up, starting the slate 15 minutes early. I don't know what it matters. I don't even know what contests look like tomorrow. We're just in a world of hurt over here. It's the busy season at work, and I tried to keep up with the news, before the show went live, and just failed. But let's talk about Tuesday, because I had fun on Tuesday. I made money. How was your Tuesday?
I had a good bet. I think that hit nothing crazy. I think it was more of a sort of saving grace than it was a let's win money type of situation. My lineups were bad. I scored almost immediately with Garland at like 5% with a full onslaught Vancouver stack that just looked like it was destined to win the entire slate after the first shot. They went on to do absolutely fucking nothing and folded like lawn chairs. And then my other stack was sneaky Dallas one that absolutely no one was going to play, including me. And you'll never guess how that turned out. Fart in the fucking wind. So didn't go in my favor. I would say that like the Vancouver stack, I truly believe was a good play. I don't have any problem with that lineup. I think it was a really good lineup. My other lineup, I think it was a bit of a whatever, but betting is betting. Good stuff there. I've got a couple of people like, why is it going to ESPN bet? Like, I don't like this as much. And it's like, well, they're giving me 20-30% profit boost and $50 max. And DraftKings is like, how does $5 feel? It's like, fuck you. It's like, I'm not gonna take all this time, energy, and effort for $5. It's just like, I don't know. So that's how my night went. How was your night? But much the 5X Matt, they call them big 5X moods.
The big 5X. I'm sitting here winning the Buddha Man contest, and Saul's out here winning 20K in the top shelf. I finished sixth in that contest. It's a 200-man field. I wasn't all that close to Saul's score, but he had Jack Hughes with an actual good team around it. So, he was pretty safe up there. Had some late scares, but yeah, shout out to Saul. Avid listener of the show and Run Pure Sports guy. I did not know his
And
Avi was a Run Pure Sports logo now. So he's truly one of the boys.
Huge fan of my podcasting skills. Probably what he's most known for.
The DJ reviews for every random podcast that Saul wants to review is well worth the Discord. Not even a membership, just the participation, because he loves a good roast. I used to be the target of the Saul roasts. He and his Reshi's meth brothers, and then apparently I earned good graces, and now I team up with Saul to just roast DJ nonstop, and it's very fun. I look forward to whatever we have in store next. We have 12 games on Thursday to get to. We're not going to go through every game, but keep an eye out for Tampa. They're minus 300 favorites in a 6.5 total. Florida is a minus 200 favorite in a 6.5 total. The Rangers are minus 300 against the Sharks in a 5.5 total. The Blues Utah game for some reason is the 6.5. We'll talk about that. And Edmonton is a minus 230 favorite in a 6.5 total against a back-to-back Montreal team. Those are kind of the main spots. Obviously, we'll talk about a lot more stuff that we like, but no other major team totals. And therefore, unless something significant shifts, we shouldn't have any, chalk accumulating outside of those already mentioned teams. So
sounds good.
I have prepared the rainbow sheet.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say hi to the chat quick. If you're not watching this on YouTube, first and foremost, you can always watch it on YouTube as Detroit Scores. Finney, of course. Good to see you, D-Gen Stoner. Olaf, what's up? Sabres suck. And then Steven bringing up the no EV bets DJ. I don't know if he means that that's my nickname or not. But what I would say about the DraftKings thing again is too, I'm really trying to go through and find the best lines with all the books I have now in New York, because I added a bunch. And DraftKings just is very, very rarely the best odds for anything. It can be. I mean, it seems like things that are the best on DraftKings stay the best on DraftKings, like certain players, but there's not a lot of rhyme or reason often. And I'm going to shop the line a little bit. And if I find it's way better on FanDuel, even though their sportsbook is an absolute dumpster fire, whatever. So yeah, shopping lines. I'm doing work for you. You're welcome.
Yeah,
we're shopping for you.
I won't be rude to people, but I have my own thoughts on tailing other people's bets, and they're not good thoughts.
Yeah, right. Well, you just like to lose money on bad players and then be like, why didn't they do things? They should have. So that's fine.
All right. Here's the rainbow sheet for this 12 gamer. Obviously, as mentioned on Tuesday, it's only 5 game trends, because now every team in the league has played, I think, between 5, 6, and 8 games so far. Maybe only 7. I'm not sure what the Rangers are at. But it's not agreeing much with the Vegas totals. I think that's to be expected with only 5 games to work with. So just take that for what it's worth. But I'm certainly sticking more to my preseason notions than I am, even Vegas totals, or, especially the rainbow chart though. So this will get updated closer to lock tomorrow. There'll be more stats up there, projection wise, Occupy Fantasies Index, ownership stuff, and actual players, that's, I think, the most useful part of it. This was today's slate with Boldy, Hughes, Tage, the expected fantasy point stuff, I think, is more useful. Than especially right now, than anything else. So anyway, make sure you join the Discord. You'll get access to this. It's all free. DM one of us if you want access to that Discord. Let's do some Chicago talk. Leading things off, Chicago at Tampa, like we said, minus 300 for the Lightning here. It's not earned. I mean, Tampa's been horrible. Yeah. So, if you're doing any sort of analysis based on what's happened so far this year, Chicago's probably going to stand out. We have Andrei Burakovsky missing practice today. His wife had a baby on Monday. So, historically, NHL players tend to play a few days after their partner gives birth. I don't know if I don't know that Burakovsky's going to play, but that's what I'm assuming. And Chicago's especially interesting because they go 11-7. I mean, there was an article written in The Athletic about it. It seems like they're going to stick with it. It's been working. They're playing fairly well. So DJ, what are your thoughts on Chicago here?
Yeah, it's before the season started, we did our silly little like, oh, like these things are going to happen and blah blah blah, and I talked about how like the Sharks, the good vibes were going to run out and it wasn't going to last, and like Chicago is better than them is basically was my take. Like even though people seem to want to just giga dunk on them, they've been, I would say, almost to the point of reasonably watchable. I'm not going to say good. I'm not going to get out over my skis here or anything, but I don't think this team is completely putrid. The problem Tampa's had is just defense all around. I think there's at least a reason to consider the Chicago Blackhawks here. I want to say it's sneaky, but I don't know if I even want to say sneaky being the right term, because this game kind of just stinks out loud from a pace perspective. So yeah, it's probably sneaky, but is it actually good? It's fine. Like I think that you're getting enough value surrounding like high upside players in Bedard, but at the end of the day, it does feel like a 12-game slate. It feels like a tough click to get to, but I don't hate it, which is surprising. Like it's like if you would have told me, I would say this would be, at least I don't hate it at the beginning of the season, I would have said you're an idiot. Like I'm gonna hate that. There's no way, but here I am.
Tua says, gotta be a doc on Burakovsky for no sleep post baby. This is a road game, so maybe Burakovsky is actually getting sleep in the team hotel if he traveled there tonight.
And
so
the new dad bump is a thing. I mean, it's a thing that people do. I'm not saying it should work, but people bet it. Like there will be people tomorrow that are like betting Burakovsky for a goal. And like, if he scores, they're going to be going crazy.
If Burra doesn't play, Lucas Reichel was playing there in practice today, which is part of why I expect Burakovsky to be back, to be honest, given the way that organization has treated Lucas Reichel. But Reichel's looked really good. I mean, he kind of broke out in that Blues game, and he's been playing with it, like from what I've seen. And I think the coach sees it too, but he's been playing fairly well since then. I guess they've only played one game, right? No, they played Vancouver too. So yeah, the 2 games since then. He only got 8 minutes last game. So like, again, I'm expecting Burakovsky to be in, but if not, and he's up with that top line, an 11-7 setup, the minutes have to go somewhere. So, I would still prefer Donato, Bedard, whatever, but full on punt could be top line if all things break right. Tampa side though, of course, much more interesting. Hagel, Cirelli, Kucherov, Gensel, Point, Gonsalves, and Holmberg, Gord, Bjorkstrand. The power play units are very messy now. Kucherov and Bjorkstrand on their own line, and Gensel Point together with Gonsalves. I was playing Gonsalves, beginning of the season, thinking, oh, well, he's getting this role, he's getting the minutes, like he's gonna do something. Turns out the answer is no, he's not gonna do anything. So you can safely rule him out, even though he, is sub 3K in a great matchup on the second line, getting good minutes. But there's no shot generation to speak of. There's no point production. And I don't think that's an environment thing. I think that's just he's a bit overmatched for a top 6 role in the NHL, which, considering I'm pretty sure I had not heard of Gage Gonsalves before the start of the season. And I, obsess over every single fourth liner in the league. That's, I think, saying something.
All right, Matt, I'm going to be on the spot here. How many shots on goal does Mr. Gage Gonsalves have on this season through
6 games? I'm going to go he has 4 shots.
Lower.
Yikes.
It is a whopping grand total of 1.
Yeah, that's
singular shot. And the thing you could say, like, crazy. Oh, well, some players are more set up, blah, blah. Like, you could try to convince yourself that there's like, no, I mean, you just can't click the button at this point. I mean, there just are going to be better options. He is not only inept to shooting, but he's not even getting enough minutes to really make you think like there's something here. Again, this Tampa thing is all seemingly depth related. The problem with Chicago is they don't have any depth either. So it's kind of this perfect storm of a game where I feel like if I'm going anywhere, it's man, honestly, I really don't think I'm touching this game. So I don't even know why I'm trying to give a take here. Like, I'm just not playing it. I think people will click on it.
We don't even have enough because like Kucherov missed a couple games over the weekend, so like we don't even really have a good look at like what Bjorkstrand looks like on this power play unit. Like I would love to sit here and go, oh my god, through 30 minutes, Bjorkstrand's taking 38% of the power play shots because he's on the top unit. But like without Kucherov their last two games, like what is that worth? I know they've been pretty putrid before that, so like I just don't even know how this team's gonna function. I obviously think there will be ownership here, given their team total is going to be north of 4, I think. So, like, I don't know what to do. If I'm doing anything, I think it's just Hagel's Rally Kucherov because that's at least 18.5K. So you're getting a bit of a discount versus, like, Point Gensel Kucherov. But, like, I'm not a huge proponent of this. So any further thoughts here?
All right. No, I think Tampa wants to be as boring as possible. They're playing Gord and Sorelli a million minutes. They don't shoot. They don't produce offense. Right. It's, Kucherov's back, etc. Let's move to fun games and fun teams.
Yeah, let's move to fun teams.
A team that makes me very mad. But I will say that watching the game, Cutter Gauthier is Sorry,
are you?
Pause.
Sorry, can you explain why you're mad?
I'm mad because it was 5-on-3. They started with the Leo Carlson, Vetrano, Lacombe, Granlund, Terry unit. They didn't do anything. They drew a penalty, whatever. I mean, it was, one of those, it happens. They kept him out there for the entire 5-on-3. Did not produce more than maybe one kind of okay chance where Granlund basically just shot it right to the goalie. And then the next shift, Cutter Gauthier gets on the ice and scores. And it's like, how do you not think to put him on a 5-on-3? These power play units, I'm not going to argue. I don't think that either of them look completely anemic, but 5-on-3, you have to put your best shooter out there. You have to. That has to be the rule. And if you want to say that's even Mason McTavish, I'll listen to that argument. But having neither of them out there on a 5-on-3, I was losing my fucking mind. And you'll never guess why I played a daily fantasy. I mean,
They had McTavish out there on the 5-on-3 though. So
okay,
whatever.
I was still mad about Cutter not being there. That didn't matter. You may have been there.
Well, yeah, we're seeing it, play out in real time. This team is being run by McTavish, Leo, and Cutter. So like any combination of those guys works. I think part of my secret sauce yesterday was just playing Mason and Cutter, even though they got switched up lines wise. I was just like, one, I didn't really have any options I preferred anyway, but two, it's just like, it's not even a correlation thing with these guys. It is just a volume thing. I mean, they are just playing with such tempo. They're so reliable. I mean, Mason's got an unbelievable shot. Like, again, talking about 2 games ago, that goal he scored to tie the game against Chicago. I think the goal of the season so far, just from like there's no physical way to score that goal. But like Cutter's obviously unbelievable. So yeah, in this matchup, I'm not afraid of Boston. And Anaheim is really pushing the tempo. So I'm happy to continue to die on this hill.
Yeah.
Chris Kreider.
Can I give a take really quick
today.
Here?
Okay, can I just finish up the news?
Fine.
Chris Kreider did not play. He missed practice today, but it's due to an illness, so he could be back. I honestly, I think they just go back to Cutter, McTavish, Seneca, and put Kreider back on the top line here. But we saw Cutter and Leo play together for long stretches, or for basically the entirety of last year, where Cutter went apeshit. So it's not impossible for me to see Kreider just mix into this line 3 here. So just be vigilant if you're trying to line stack. I don't think it matters much though. So DJ, go ahead.
Cutter Gauthier is really starting to remind me of Nikolai Ehlers.
Early in his career.
And maybe it's just it's part because he's carrying the puck a lot and looks faster than I think. But him just not getting the power play role too is probably driving this thought more than anything else. But I do think he is very, very quickly angry. I don't blame him at all. He's my beautiful, sweet angel. But what are your thoughts on this take?
I think that's a bunch of hogwash.
Why?
I think the power play stuff is just I think that's so brain dead. I they're mixing both in. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, yeah, you'll never guess who had a brain dead take. Fucking me. Anyways.
Okay, well, I guess you got me there. But there have been multiple games now where they've used that second unit as the first unit over the boards. It's just a thing. And Leo Carlson's awesome. I feel like that's also short selling just how dominant Leo has been in season to date. Like he also looks really good. I think he's got worse line mates, which hurts him, but like it's at 5-on-5 specifically. But the second part of that about Nick Ehlers, I mean, Jesus Christ, if we have if he's anything like Nick Ehlers, I'm done here. I'm done playing DFS. Like I think Cutter's much more reliable from a fantasy standpoint than Ehlers is. Ehlers is a reliable on ice player. You knew he was going to drive play, but I do not think he was as reliable shot wise as people might remember. I think his mostly came in spurts. He wasn't like a long range guy, because Cutter basically mixes like Evander Kane's propensity with Jesus, like I don't know, like a Jack Eichel like shot like ferocity, like he's got steam on this thing in a way that like Evander doesn't. So that's just fantasy goldmine right there.
Agreed.
So anyway,
never a problem. I mean, Leo is, I think, very quietly had 7 points in 6 games as well, and is 4,600. Like, very easy to talk me into this. I have no issues or qualms, and also I'll apologize for anyone watching that I keep having to look at my phone. But like I said, having some trouble with our studio on the background. But this matchup is. Let me toss my microphone. This matchup is also pretty good. But as we mentioned last show, and I think is kind of largely proven, that Boston is kind of getting leads and allowing a lot of shots against because they're bad. Keep an eye on Lindholm returning though, because that would be a big boost to their defense that they desperately need. And revenge narrative.
True. And they did they lost Jordan Harris, who was the Lindholm replacement, so they called up Michael Callahan. So if they were keeping Lindholm out because they were like, we kind of like Jordan Harris. Like Jordan Harris is, he's an NHL player. I mean, he was on, Montreal, whatever. But it sounds like he suffered a serious injury. So I do not think they think Callahan is that. So if Lindholm is, I think, in any way ready to go, he's going in the lineup, which matters. Again, he's just competent defensively, which is fine. So otherwise, I worry. I think the team total's going to stay low. So Boston, we don't need to worry about. But if this moves to a 6.5 and Pastrnak gets in like the 15% range, I start to worry a bit. I'm kind of team just one-off Pasta right now. I think salary is just still pretty light across the board on this slate. So I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad going, oh, well, if I miss a 20-point geeky game, I'm screwed because, if Pasta's 10% and Geeky's 5%, well, guess what? There's 5% of the field that just has me dominated. I like my chances of finding really good scores on this massive slate. So I would prefer to overstack somewhere else and just play Pasta as a one-off, if anything, from this game. Any interest in Charlie McAvoy, 4,700? He's kind of doing the things, but it hasn't really paid off from a fantasy standpoint just yet.
Well, I think if you look at his role on this team, you would think he has to be doing better than he is because he plays 26 to 28 minutes a night, but just isn't quite doing enough that I feel like you have to play him. But I think the one-off Pasta or McAvoy might be the next guy in for me, just with the role he's getting. And if Lindholm comes back, I don't think that role diminishes at all, really. I still think he gets quite a few. I think it just takes over, like you said, no more Harris and some other guys that might lose, like Yoki Haru won't see 20 minutes again, if that's the case. But I'm okay with it. I have with a buyer on McAvoy this season overall, and just because he hasn't put it up in 6 games doesn't mean he can't. If you're playing Pastrnak, like they play quite a bit on the ice together.
In 8 games,
everyone does. Yeah.
In 8 games, McAvoy has 4 points, 1 shot bonus, and 2 blocks bonuses. So there's at least an outside chance that he puts it all together, but I'm not. I think there are other better options, but certainly a name to keep an eye on with the minutes he's playing at this price, given he's been here for most of the year. Pittsburgh and Florida, and I should say Anaheim pushing the pace matters too for defensemen especially. Block shots like that. That's what you want. You want Cutter shooting it from 50 feet away, and just someone just getting a stick on it. So, So next game, Pittsburgh at Florida. Not expecting any Pittsburgh changes, given your complaint about Vancouver from yesterday. Guess what? Russ, Crosby, Raquel, Mantha, Malkin, Brazo, Novak, Kindle, and Hollander. Wotherspoon, Carlson, Shea Letang. I mean, whatever. It's the top power play in it, I think. Anything else? Justin Brazo,
I
3,400
was,
keeps doing
I
it.
was,
You can't keep getting away with
yeah.
this, right?
Well, it's funny because we're like Gage Gonzalez is going to get ownership and does absolutely nothing, and Justin Brazo probably won't get ownership and is doing everything. And he's only 500 more. I mean, it's a legitimate, like, you got to find the money if you're actually considering Gage Gonzalez. I guess in a stack you can do it you wish, but he's been legitimately good. That second line has been legitimately good, and Malkin being a part of it. I know there's the discourse around last year. Malkin was actually really good to start the year, and then went into a fine powder by the end, just absolutely nothing. But I almost wonder if maybe Mantha and Brazo were a bit better than we thought, or is it just Malkin is better than maybe we remember him from the end of last year? Because again, he was really good to start last year. So it's a mixed bag. I'm probably going to continue to fade the Penguins and try to get away with it. I don't think many people will go to them here in a tough matchup against the Panthers, but the top line is enticing with these prices. I think that you're, kind of just doing the whole damn thing. Russ has been very involved and not really getting the results. He had probably one of the saddest no goals I've seen. I don't know if you saw the play, Matt, where he like dangled everybody, beat the goalie entirely, and just like put it into the post. It like stuck to the post in the goalie's skate and didn't go in. It was just like this encapsulation of what he can do with the puck. And I think that I'm going to focus on Pittsburgh one down the line. It might not be here.
No, my sights were pretty locked in on Anaheim for my hockey watching yesterday, which is fair most days, honestly. But yeah, I'm not even watching anything today or whatever.
Yeah,
like I'm very much out of tune on team watch the games at the moment, just given work's crazy and trying to do stuff for the podcast and whatnot. Like it's a lot of hours for doing rainbow shit and lines update and whatever in the mines here. Like I said, just working in the
Matt
mines
Moody doing
for the
rainbow
listeners.
shit.
Nobody saw that coming.
Put it on a t-shirt. So yeah, Penguins team total is 2.5 over under. You could bet that under at minus money. So it's not looking good for them going against a better Florida team, frankly. Not a crazy high total for them as well. And with all the, sort of nonsense through the power play lines, I wonder if ownership gets here. I, of course, am interested in Lundell at 3,900 on the top power play. I think he's a very, very good player. But are you thinking of going back to the Panthers? I believe we were both pretty high on them last slate.
Yeah, it was a 7:30 start, I believe. Yeah, it was a 7:30 start, and I was actually planning, like, with my lineup at like 6:35 or so, to, if Lindholm was out, swap to Lundell, Marchand, Seth Jones for, I think it was it was Cutter, McTavish, and Zellweger. And then I did some maneuvering and found Matt Murray and sort of lost that idea of the 3v3 swap and wound up not having it for when Hampus was out. I already had the spots locked up basically. So I didn't end up doing it, but I could see going back to that well. Again, the exact same argument for Lindell as before. He's baby Barkov. 3,900 top power play with a line that we know is productive and Luostarinen and Marchand, where Luostarinen doesn't do much of it himself, is, I think, the prime feeding ground for Anton Lundell night. So I'm very happy to go back to that well. I probably won't take him as a top stack, given, kind of feel like a fraud if I took him as a top stack and didn't play him yesterday. No, Ottawa 1 was part of my lineup. But yeah, I definitely like that for 10K flat. You mix in a Seth Jones or Sam Reinhart, and I think you've got yourself a nice little power play stack. And yeah, Luostarinen just not doing the stuff. So I don't think you need to, he's in the Gonzalez camp of just like, yeah, he doesn't really matter. So you're fine to fade him, even though he's a good player. So anything else you want to add here?
I could be convinced, of course, to play Mackie Samoskevich one off as well. He does also have a propensity to shoot the puck, maybe just as much, if not more, than anyone else on the team in the right role. And if they get trailing against Pittsburgh, he can see more ice time. He's not great defensively, which is why they set him in the playoffs, which was stupid, but they won the cup. So what the fuck do I know? Yeah, I'm interested. I don't have a problem with, like I said last slate, crossing over and doing Lundell, Marchand, and Reinhardt. Lundell led them in ice time for forwards. Marchand was just a pubic hair behind him, and right behind him was Reinhardt. I mean, I get that Bennett and Verhage are good players and do fantasy stuff in general, so you could stack the top line all together, but I have no issue just saying, you know what, the top power play gets there. The Penguins are completely horrendous defensively, and it finally bites them in the ass. Well, I guess it did once. They gave up like a touchdown to the Rangers or something, but not the Rangers. Who was it? It doesn't
Desperately want to move on because I want to get the imagery out of my head.
Of pubic hair?
Correct. Detroit heading into Long Island on a back-to-back here. We're not expecting Patrick Kane to play, so DeBrincat, Casper, MBN. Won't spoil it for DJ, so if he wants to try to say that name, he may go ahead. Of course, Emmett Finney continues to do the thing on the top line with Larkin and Raymond. And yeah, Mo Sider, 6K. What are your thoughts on Detroit in this spot?
On Michael Brandsegg-Nygaard? It's not that hard to say.
You would be surprised, DJ.
Am I wrong?
No, I'm saying you would be surprised on what is hard for you to say.
What's hard for me to spell and what's hard for me to say are different things. What's hard for me to say are actually, you know what am I saying? I'm bad at all of it. So let's start with the back-to-back nature of this for the first and foremost. I don't love that, to be honest. I do think the Islanders, as I'm going to probably say 400 times, are more fun than you'd think and have shown to push the pace a bit. They have not been fantastic defensively. I'm not going to say got outplayed by San Jose, but certainly gave up a fair number of shot attempts to, again, the San Jose Sharks, who are not good. So I'm interested in Detroit here because I think most people won't be. It's a 5.5. I don't think it's anything that I'm going to lose sleep over not playing, but I could be very easily convinced to go to the second line in Detroit as a mid-tier / almost cheap option. DeBrincat is, if you're watching the game right now as I am, they've talked about it. He hasn't scored. He's been very, very good. It just hasn't found a way to get the puck in the back of the net. Marco Casper goes to his top power play. The power play looked fine. I mean, kind of rotating in circles. He was supposed to be net front. I'm not sure if that's really where you want him, but I have no issue. Well, what are your thoughts on Detroit?
Your internet's cutting in or out, and maybe it's me. Good. But just noting that for the time being. I don't know. It was like robot-y. Yeah, I mean, I'm showing the rainbow chart. It's got the Islanders as one of the worst teams. Now, of course, anytime you give up 3.9 expected goals to the San Jose Sharks, that's probably going to hurt your stats. So, but I can promise you that before that, they did not look fantastic either. And yeah, like you said, very up-tempo team versus I think what people's expectations were, especially with one Mr. Matthew Schaefer on the ice. So I think you're going to look at Larkin getting a matchup with like Bo Horvat, who hasn't really played a ton with Schaefer. They're not doing a hard match, but it's, Pelech Pulak probably with Horvat against top comp. And then you get sort of Barzal and Schaefer or Anders Lee and Schaefer against sort of the middle six. So I think that's where I would look if I wanted pieces of Detroit. I'm personally not that into it. I think I'm more interested in the Islanders side, given the back-to-back that Detroit's on. And I do think, like Sherratt, Sider are attackable. Like, I don't think there's anything to be scared of here. So it's just pricing with the Islanders. They're obviously getting rather expensive with their production. But Kyle Palmieri's just been my dude for the season. He's continued to get expected fantasy points. He's been fine. He's not been great though. Versus Bo Horvat or whatever has like the ceiling game that Palmieri doesn't for similar output. And Schaefer's been better than advertised. Can't keep saying that enough. 5,500 is a fair price for what he's produced. So in this matchup, you're probably not getting 25% like last time out. But I think it's certainly worth considering, especially now that, Adam Boqvist, I believe, is confirmed in again for Romanov in this game. And that just piles more minutes onto Schaefer's plate because, Boqvist, D'Angelo's terrible. I mean, it's crazy. He even lost the power play 2 job last game. So bad that the coach had to come out and say, yeah, Tony D is going to be our power play 2 guy. But Adam Boqvist is there to take it. And, I love Adam Boqvist. We have a long history of him on this show. But the fact that Schaefer just easily breezed by Tony D is crazy enough. But for Adam Boakfist to be doing it shows you how bad D'Angelo's playing. So Schaefer's truly a top D, and so 5,500 in a good matchup with solid mid-price line mate or teammates, I'm kind of interested once again. So that's my Islanders take.
Yeah, I'm gonna fade the Islanders. I am interested in Detroit. That's my take myself. I think you probably summed everything up as possible. I'll say one last question to you though. If you're playing the Islanders, if you're playing either of these top two lines, I'm assuming you'd say, well, Horvat with Duran and Barzal with Palmieri. Are you considering Heineman or Duclair with them, or not really?
I mean, cop out answer. It probably depends what else I'm playing, but I think the answer would be yes. If I'm doing the full stack, I'm going 4 instead of 3. Just because I think you need that value at their price tags. Like Barzal, Palmieri, and Schaefer is going to cost almost 17,000. So if you add Duclair, that's 20K for spots. Like I think you're going to need that value punt anyway. So that to me is a little bit different than like the Boston one-off conversation from before, where those guys are 5K. I don't think there's like an obvious clear value that like it's just going to be chalk slammed. So
you want to talk about obvious clear values that are going to be chalk slammed? We got San Jose in the next game, so we got another side to that game that we're going to have to talk about. But let's start with San Jose. They looked competent, they put up 3.9 against the Islanders, and like I said, I think that's because the Islanders are bad defensively. But regardless, they did do that. Celebrini finally came to the forefront and put up a.
Were these lines right, DJ? By the way, just.
Yes. It was Celebrini, Smith, Toffoli, Wemberg, Skinner, Eklund, Gaudet, Misa.
Thank you.
Graf.
Yep. We're good.
Celebrini finally had line mates, which was what I was about to say next, and you kind of paused me and were like, let me double check that, and put up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 shot attempts, 1 goal, with I think 6 getting onto the goalie. What we've been waiting for, right? That's what we've been waiting for. There it is. The Rangers have been good defensively. I feel like you have to say they just can't score. But do you have interest in going to I guess you have to say it all correlated, not terrible San Jose 1?
I mean, I feel like I'm the one who caused Macklin to break out, because I'm pretty sure I was like, yeah, what is he doing that makes him worth this price tag? And he was like, let me show you. So yeah, I don't feel like it's.
Dude, they're playing him with Gaudet and like freaking some other made up guy the couple games before. Like,
yeah, I mean that's that is a useful change. I think the Rangers are. I mean, we have this preseason bet, and I'm not leaving the preseason takes behind. And the Rangers have done nothing if not show that they're very competent defensively this year. Like that is not their problem. So, in general, I'm inclined to X this game out. I did see. I'm pretty sure someone in the 3-3-3 played. I think it was Lucky Guesses played Graf, Misa, Gaudet, which, like, I mean, full respect.
Got there, yeah. It kind of got there.
Yeah, right? I think Misa and Gaudet, or Graf and Gaudet
scored.
Misa had assist.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's how they played Colorado, which we get Colorado later, but also not in the best matchup. So just wanted to shout that out because I found that kind of funny, if not interesting.
So
anyway. I don't have to
get over it.
Sharks.
Yeah, the Rangers have the highest team total on the slate. I'm nearly 100. And maybe it's Tampa. It's going to be pretty fucking close between the two. The Rangers have not scored many goals this season. Of course, we've talked about how some of these players have been very good. Some of these players have been, disappointing at times. We could go through the whole gambit. I will say 2 things about the Rangers. If you're playing them, obviously you're eating chalk. I mean, there's no way around that. But I think you should be mindful of stacking the entire line. Like, don't skip out on Will Cooley. Don't skip out on, Adam Fox, maybe even. Like, I think you just got to go all the way here. Like, don't get cute and play like 2 Rangers.
Yeah.
What?
I'm just reading tweets from today from the Rangers practice. The Rangers are doing power play work now, and Sullivan doesn't seem too pleased. He stopped them twice in the last couple minutes, most recently to yell. What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you, to be
Vince
honest.
Z. Mercogliano, by the way. Oh my god, that is awesome.
They're
But
just
yeah, I mean,
not good.
they're just
The Sabres are good, but the Sabres are good. Doan goal.
That's great. Oh wow, they're 4-2.
Yeah. Power play goal from
Best team ever?
Why
Question mark.
am I losing my mind? It was Quinn. It was Quinn again. Yeah, Quinn. Well, we didn't score before. It was Quinn that shot it after a huge save on DeBrincat. DeBrincat is allergic to scoring. Robbed by Colton Ellis. Tough break, buddy. Should have been better at hockey.
Yeah, the people tomorrow are just clamoring for DJ's live updates on the Detroit Buffalo game. All right. No changes to the lines. So yeah, I mean, we're just running the same shit back. I gotta say, I don't think it works this time. I would like Vincent Trocheck to be back in the lineup before I kind of start to pretend things might change offensively for these guys. So at significant ownership, we've already lost the price on Zibanejad. Like, he's been fine, but the price is already up at $7K. Like, yeah, you can say, oh, Moods, aren't you a Zibanejad guy? And it's like, yeah, but I mean, look at the price. Like, this is just crazy. I don't think I'm missing out on much. So yes, it's the Sharks. Yes, it could blow up in my face and burn me. But I'm just hoping that the Rangers keep this one low scoring. I think that the trends and everything else indicates that they might. So I'm good to fade here.
The same thing as the Islanders, only the Rangers don't want to be fun at all, and the Islanders do.
That's a good point. I think that's I think that sums it up nicely. Braden Schneider's a nice play, 3,400. Dmitry Orlov also 3,400. But Schneider's a bit more, I think, double bonus type possibility. And I don't think Orlov's, anything super special. But two very good value options here, I think, defensively with some power play time, given injuries and just general D-core constructions for both teams. So Rangers chalk. Philly at Ottawa. Philly takes the road, bringing along one of the hottest players in the league, Owen Tippett, just shooting the lights out, actually scoring. I mean, 2-3 years ago, Moods is going apeshit over this. I don't know, DJ. Am I missing out here on the Owen Tippett experience? Top line, 15.8K. Could this be like the true DJ thinks it's sneaky but gets colossally owned stack of the night?
I mean, the thing about that, you can't tempt fate, Matt. You have to let
you're right. Sorry,
my own team. If you word it, you can't lead the chalk donkey monster into the chalk donkey play of the night.
This is the lazy podcasting right here. I'm sorry. I will be better next time.
You're like, what if they're too cheap and they've been good and they're playing Ottawa? Like, yeah, all of these things are true, and everyone is sitting there right now, like me, just taking a big, huge line of chalk, lining it up and storing it like they're doing drugs, Matt. And it's going to be 18% owned. And I'm going to say it might be sneaky, though. They're on the road. That might actually change it. No, it's not. They're going to get played.
I'm so bad. All these thoughts are fair thoughts to have, but yeah, I got to be better. I can't just be saying shit like that.
You need to. When you think this, in my head. Islanders top line has been good. What do you think about it, DJ? And then I go, it has been pretty good. I don't know if anyone's going to play it. Like, what the fuck? You had it right where you wanted it, and you let him off the hook.
I blew it. That's on me.
What is sneaky is the second line. That's the sneaky line that actually no one's going to play, that a sharp person would talk about, that I would avoid. I'd go top line, baby, 25%, whoop, whoop, whoop. And then
you know what this idiot's gonna come up with? Let me just read some names in an order, just to kind of get the mood going. Mm-hmm. Florida, Carolina, Florida, Winnipeg, Minnesota, Seattle.
Okay.
Those are the teams that the Flyers have played so far. What if Matvei Michkov, being hurt, being fat, being bad, like whatever the hell you want to say about it, Tocchet being an idiot, what if all of that was, hey, we just played some of the best defensive teams in the NHL and the Seattle Kraken, and guess what? Michkov played 16 minutes on the third line and had an assist with 2 shots last game. Just saying, like, oh, okay, pretty not bad.
Pretty not bad.
What if it's just Michkov night? You go, hey, actually, Tippett Michkov, you just go, and Konechny and Couturier, you suck, so don't go. Well, what if we did that? Is that cooking? Any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on Trevor Zegras? I mean, he's a guy.
Trevor Zegras is a guy. I think if you're playing Michkov, you probably do it. I don't have a
5-game point streak
really
for Zegras. It's go time.
I just I don't watch I'm not the Islanders, my God. I don't watch the Flyers a ton, but every time I do, it is just like, is Noah Cates and Forrester and Brink ever coming off the fucking ice? And they don't. They exist to just be on the ice. And they're all on a power play together. And that power play against Seattle scored twice. And it played more than the Beachcoff unit. And you know what they're going to do after scoring twice? Probably play a bunch more. So, yeah, I mean, I'm hoovering up the probably not that chalky Philadelphia 2 as my cheap stack.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
I would like to put out there that perhaps it's a sign that if the line is playing well, they will play more. And it's not necessarily that, this is a donkey coach going to do donkey things. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Tockett's just, I only want defense and blah, blah, blah. But, when that line's playing well, they'll play a lot. But if Zegras and Michkov are clicking, I think that they will get their ice time, to show for that. So I think we're reaching a stretch of the schedule, though, where we need to take a hard look at, hey, the Flyers aren't what they've put out there offensively because of who they've been playing against. But you've got the perfect scenario. The fourth line doesn't play at all. The defense isn't going to steal the fantasy points. Like if they're going to do shit, it's going to be through their forwards. And I think that, buying low when everyone's, talking about Michkov as, in this really dour way, because his results have shown it, kind of misses the forest through the trees of what we're really trying to do here in the daily fantasy game. So
I agree. I mean, it's a good play. I actually think that there's a good punt option in the middle, and we can move over to Ottawa, which is sort of why we were talking some. I mean, like the depth on this team is pretty bad. I don't believe in any of it to be any good at all. The top line is interesting, of course. The second line, Shane Pinto, 7 goals on the year. You can't completely neglect it at 5K. But are you top line or bust here?
Yeah, I am. It's not a guarantee that they stay together. I want to say they moved things around yesterday because they didn't have a great game, even though I won money with them and it was just such a low scoring slate.
Overtime.
It doesn't look like they did anything too substantial with the line, but they got clowned in their on ice minutes. So, that is what it is. So if it sticks, I like it. I'm not super high on it, though. I have, I think, less optimism that this becomes a true track meet type of game. And I think that there's less that I want to do on the other side of this game with the Flyers. Like, I don't really want to use 4 roster spots on wings in this game. So, like, Stützle, Cousins, Batherson, and then Michkov, Tippett or something. Like, that just doesn't seem like a game stack that I'm willing to go down with versus I played, Jake Wallman with the Ottawa stack and just sort of said, yeah, well, Wallman's going to do the things that, fit my lineup better in that D slot. So, yeah, I don't really see the same environment, though. If you want to play Shane Pinto, I can't blame you. The dude is chucking pucks. The DJ Pinto love story, doesn't hurt that he's also an avid gambler. But yeah, that one should be bearing fruit for you this year.
Yeah. And I again, no problem on the other side of this game either. I am a Philly respecter, but not a Philly, like, they're actually good. It's just that I respect the team a little bit more than maybe the public, which is not to say you can't play a probably lowish owned Ottawa team, which probably means it is actually going to be the Giga Chalk of the night. My apologies in advance to anyone that was thinking Ottawa would be low owned. But yeah, I mean, this game is a low total. Ottawa's a favorite at home, and they're all correlated on the top line. So it's fine. We can move over to the Vancouver team that is the walking wounded. They should get Brock Besser back. That should be a nice lift. but they
Just
really
just got to
were
jump in
turning.
here, Stoner. If you bet on Zach Benson to do anything, that's on you, brother. I don't know what to tell you. 5 games does not change a player. So yeah, he's going to do nothing because nothing.
Correct. Anyways, though,
All
so we continue to the Vancouver Canucks, and I will, there is this kind of perfect vacuum, right, of the top guys getting a lot of minutes because the rest of the team sucks. There's all these injuries. Even with that being said, I don't know if I'm going to go back to it here. I almost wonder if Vancouver is really going to start to peter off into the distance if they can't get some guys back quickly. But are you interested in this top line and maybe Besser and Hughes?
No, I'm more interested in the Nashville side myself, but Besser will be back. Interesting to see what they do with that. I just, unless they do like a Vander Kane, Pedersen, Besser, like that's the only way I think I could get myself to pay in this range. 17K for that top line is currently constructed. You got to add on Quinn Hughes probably if you're doing it. Like it's just money that I don't really want to spend on Vancouver and Nashville. I feel better about doing it on the home team Nashville side of the house. So yeah, what did Linus Carlson check in at minutes wise last game? Obviously, if Besser back, I don't expect it to stick, but pet project here with Linus Carlson.
Sorry, dropped my mic. He had 8 shot attempts, I did see. So that makes you feel a little bit more vindicated. 2 on net, I believe. Yeah, he was the highest individual expected goals player on the game, but did very little. Was on the second power play. So,
12 minutes.
Yeah, 12 minutes and did quite a bit with it. So the Skolansky Bucks, I suppose, are in order. I don't know. But regardless, it's tough sledding, in my opinion. Who led them in ice time as a forward? Kiefer Sherwood. There you go. You want to play that team? Have at it. I played it last late. So I'm bitter and disgusted. They have one line that did anything. Every other line got their doors blown in, and they still just went out there and said, let's keep playing Kiefer Sherwood, Artur Ratty, and Evander Kane.
Yeah, that they did do. So Nashville side, we confirmed today that Brady Martin is going away. He's going to the OHL. So yeah, I mean, whatever. It's been weird. It's been weird usage, but yeah, it is what it is. I believe that means Marchessault's back, and I believe we actually saw lines today, but I just didn't get a chance to put them in. Yes, Forsberg, O'Reilly, Evangelista, Bunting, Howla, Stamkos, and then Marchessault, Svechkov, Jost. So there we go. Kind of back to normal here. Just a little flip-flop of Marchessault and Stamkos. That would also mean top power play goes back to Marchessault. And just like that, we're back at these.
Game. In case you were
not watching. Don't expect that to stick with Marchessault back.
No, me neither.
They did kind of get. I mean, they kind of got clowned by Anaheim, so not really. Not worried. Shea, Perbix, Stastny, Barron. Yep, no changes. So this is what we get. Forsberg 7,200 though. Stamkos 5K, Marchessault below 5K. We just know these dudes are gonna chuck pucks. We know that they've got upside, and I think this matchup is ripe for the picking here. If Justin Brazeau can do it to him, I gotta think Jonathan Marchessault also has it in him. So I think Evangelista gets rotated in and out of this top line, and we get a lot of Forsberg, O'Reilly, Marchessault now. With this Howla Bunting Stamkos line. We've seen Howla Bunting play a lot at 5-on-5, so I think we can kind of rely on that moving forward. So yeah, I'm just mixing and matching power play one, guys, and I have at least secondary interest in Nashville. Not primary stacks, but certainly some interest. Anything you want to add there?
I'm just wondering what Yossi's ownership was on the last slate. I'm trying to find it quickly. I'm not sure if you know off the top of your head. 14% in the $20.
Yeah.
Did you say that?
No. But that's Anaheim, though. I don't think people have the same.
That's why I'm just thinking
Vancouver, for better or for worse. Like,
I completely agree, and that's why I'm like, 14% against Anaheim. He goes up a couple $100. Is he going to see 10 to 12% here? Like probably, right? I mean, I'm just kind of thinking through this logically. If you're playing Vancouver and you're saying they win a 12 game slate, I think you're really missing out if you're not playing Roman Yossi at 6,800. It just feels like he's really not been that bad. So I probably go, Forsberg, Yossi, and frankly, I honestly think it could be Stamkos, although Marchessault coming back at least makes it interesting if there's a third. Honestly, I could even click Evangelista still at 3,500. I mean, we talked about guys that do nothing as punts. If Evangelista does something.
Yep. I'm there with you. All right. This game, I mean, can I bet this under right now? Like, is that just a lie by the score app?
Do it. Do it.
The 6.5?
Do it.
No. I'm just seeing. Okay, no. The score app is just full of shit. This game is not a 6.5.
Yeah.
So yeah, Utah and St. Louis. So yeah, not a very exciting one. I think that was obvious to most people. St. Louis, though, doing things differently once again. Buchnevich, Thomas Kyrou, Holloway, Shen, Neighbors, Snuggerud, Suter, Matthew Joseph. That top line, another 17K line. Buchnevich, Thomas Kyrou. Dylan Holloway has been one of the worst players on their team, fantasy stats wise, which is crazy. But yeah, there's not much happening with the St. Louis Blues at this point. And you think back to last year, and it wasn't necessarily the state had crazy high, attempts offensively or whatever. It was mostly just efficiency and really sound defense. And the defense has been, I don't know, okay this year, but it's not been the same level as in past years, or I guess at the end of last year. So Utah may be a bit more interesting at home, but DJ, first off, any thoughts on the Blues, who based on the rainbow chart have a slightly negative matchup, confirming what I was just saying about this year's trends?
Not a ton. I mean, I get why you take a look at the Buchnevich, Thomas Kyrou line. They've been their most productive forwards, and now they're all put together. Top line, top power play. Buchnevich has like 5 assists, and Thomas has a bunch of assists, and it's like who's scoring, and it's just this mirage of random players that seemingly are finding some goals. And Jake Neighbors, of course, I get it, but I'm not clicking it. It's a really bad matchup. It is not a game I want to be, putting a lot of my eggs into at all. And if I'm putting any eggs into this game, it's the Dylan Guenther type of egg, not the Robert Thomas type.
Yes. So on the Utah side, expecting Keller, Hayton, Schmaltz, Peterka, Cooley, Guenther, with Sergachev to be their horse on the D side of things. Nate Schmidt continues to exist in that power play 2 role with more minutes without Sean Durzi just doing absolutely nothing with it. Probably reaching time to cut bait on it, but if you've been playing it, I still think he's an okay target, but probably not the time to ape in if you've been like Nate Schmidt curious. I can't really say much better than Dylan Guenther's awesome. I don't know that I want to stack him with Cooley, Peterka. I don't have much of a hope for either guy from a fantasy setting. It just feels like Gunther's the 5-shot 2-goal ceiling type guy versus the 3 assists, and Peterka goes crazy or something. So I'm not overly afraid to one-off Guenther here, or play him with Schmaltz, Hayton, or something like that, where I think Guenther is slightly more reliable than Clayton Keller. And again, it's a kind of gross game. You don't need to do it, but
I think that's
awesome.
Yeah, the right answer is it's a bad game, but if you're doing it for whatever reason, it's through Guenther in my opinion, and I'm gonna stand on Logan Cooley business and continue to think that he's better than these numbers indicate. So I'd rather buy on him. Any interest in Mikhail Sergachev? I mean, also sort of this like feels overpriced play, but he is playing a ton of. I mean, is this just Charlie McAvoy? I don't know.
Yeah, but then you watch the goal he scored yesterday, where he takes the puck off the wall and just instantly gets the hands through the the shot was. I mean, probably you got to stop that if you're the goalie, but just the fact that he picked that puck up, got the shot off in pretty tight quarters and beat the goalie from distance. It's just damn, and this is a dude who has the blocks bonus in his bag too. So he has that true triple bonus, like a goal scored with 2 assists and the blocks bonus. You're just like, Jesus, man, he could really be it. I don't know, because obviously the clock is running out on him being a true fantasy stud, given his age and whatnot. But it's very hard to look at him and not sort of see the possibilities with him. And it helps that Simashev is there, and we're sort of expecting Simashev to fit in as this, defense first, like not very offensively oriented guy, giving him, more permission to go up and down the ice versus when he has to babysit, like Oli Mata or someone who's just not as good, in theory, as Simashev should be. So
does Mikhail Sergachev have upside after coming up with 28.8 against Colorado? I guess he does, right? We can move over
because that's included here when he had, he has 9 points per game on the year. I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. Like there's more upside. He's worth it. I think you could throw him in with whatever you're playing. If you're playing it again, it's a bad environment.
Jack McBain got hurt, so maybe slightly more minutes for Cooley Hayton. As a result of that, I don't know the status though. He only played 5 minutes last game, and I assume that's injury related.
Yeah. All right. Let's move over to
Seattle Winnipeg.
At Winnipeg.
Seattle.
You want to lead us in?
I don't know what to expect here. Everything's a mess. All my updating stuff did not include Seattle going into Winnipeg, believe it or not, because I frankly don't care. Unless Yanni Newman's top line, top power play, I'm just not going there. I would keep an eye out though for Mason Marchant was a scratch last game, or maybe he was injured. I don't know. Who is the guy that's missing here? Not Kako. It was.
You have Tolvanen? Oh, there he is.
No, who the hell was their top line guy who got hurt and then Catton had the draw in? No, McCann.
Oh yeah, Jared McCann.
I don't know what he's looking at. It's
day to day.
Yeah.
So it could be back.
Okay.
Keep an eye on it. I mean, I could not. I really don't know if I could logically lead you in any direction, because any interesting players from they could win a 12-game slate perspective are kind of anchored to not so good players. Like it just has to be through Catton and Beniers. It's like that's the only thing that you could even begin to convince me to try to play here. And I just don't think I'm going to be going to it. Like I like Philly 2 better than this. That's how fucking bad this is. I can move on to the Winnipeg side, which is much more interesting.
Beniers has been good. My stupid macro changes his name to Matthew Beniers because that's what it was last year, but now it's different because DraftKings loves me. They just love changing things, and I have not updated everything year to year with respect to that at this point. So, but he's been good. I believe he's been fine. Catton hasn't done much in 2 games, but if it sticks, it ships at 11K. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right. Winnipeg, definitely a better team. They have this top line of 21,000. Connor Scheifele, Velarde. They've been quite good. Velarde doing Velarde things where he's definitely the odd man out if you only want a 2-man stack, or if you want to play Josh Morrissey instead. Totally fine by me. And what's nice is that the Alex Iafallo power play one. He had 27 shots or something against the Flames. I don't think that's sticky, but he's been good too. So a slight value there. 3,300 Iafallo top power play. Any thoughts on Winnipeg here, DJ?
I mean, this is going to be owned. People will be clicking the buttons on Winnipeg 1. Everything else, I think it is not all that worth it. If you're playing Winnipeg 1, I think you do need to look at something like I sort of mentioned, where you're playing a Philadelphia 2. There it is. The one I just mentioned a minute ago. Instead of trying to jam a, more chalky situation or place of Rangers pieces or something like that. I like it a lot. It's probably one of my favorite, 4 stacks on the slate is Winnipeg 1. Do you think it's going to get the ownership I think it's going to get? Because I don't think I could give this the DJ stamp of approval, and knowing in advance, I think it'll be pretty chalky.
I don't. I think it'll stay covered by Tampa, by Florida, by the Rangers. So I think we're safe if you want to load up on Winnipeg here. And I think Kyle Connor specifically is just, I think that's underpriced. 7,800 for him. He's incredible. I know there's not a ton to spend for on this slate. We'll get to a couple options later that are more expensive, but like I think he's right up there. Mark Scheifele, I mean, you shocked me earlier, tied for the league leading goals,
Yeah.
7,500. Like it's a lot to pay. I'm not disputing that, but these guys have tightly correlated upside. They have nuclear upside. And yeah, they have a pretty good matchup, I think, while the field flocks other places. So, yeah, I actually think this will be under-owned relative to what I think it should be.
See, I cannot spot him. I mean, I'm sitting here like, oh man, I'd be disingenuous saying this is going to be sneaky because it's not.
Yeah.
And you're like, actually,
And
this would have been a good one to call sneaky.
in a
Well,
tight regulation game against Calgary, Scheifele played 21 minutes, Connor 22 minutes, and Velarde 18. So there's your sort of like also they get the time on ice too that not many top lines around the league do get. All right. Carolina, Colorado. I mean, very good game. I don't know about fantasy. DJ, what are your thoughts on Carolina, either the top line or Jackson Blake, who's been awesome for a bit cheaper?
I was just so expecting you to say LA Dallas because the next one in slate order, but I
Okay.
move over. It's fine. I mean, everyone makes mistakes. I've never done it in my life, but we can we just kind of mentioned. I mean, Colorado gave up a pretty big number to Utah. A few guys, kind of getting there, and no one is clicking on Carolina tomorrow. I'm interested. This is kind of a situation where two teams that, as we mentioned again on Tuesday, like these are two of the teams that want to shoot the puck the most. This is a game where, frankly, I don't think the goaltending is any good. Not that that really matters, but just is a caveat to have. And Carolina feels pretty cheap. So I am actually pretty interested in this Carolina one side. It has not, giga smashed and it's hit, right? I mean, Seth Jarvis has a ton of goals and Aho's done well, but Ehlers, who we mentioned earlier in the show, hasn't really done a ton. I'm interested. Keandre Miller, right? We've talked about him a lot. He's been this, he's playing against, very bad teams and people are playing him and he didn't really get there. And then has really done about the same with the same amount of minutes and a better power play role. And I don't think people are going to click on him here. Like I think this is a pretty sneaky under-owned and frankly too cheap spot for very, very good players in a matchup that I'm not petrified of.
Okay. I stand by the fact that I will just let Carolina beat me. Forwards wise, just have at it. So yeah, I will need to check in on Gostisbehere and whatnot, but yeah, I think what we're seeing here is good to go, and I can't fault anything you're saying. Just not for me. I'm good. Just systems wise, not necessarily a spot that I'm going to target. So the Colorado side, I mean, the worst possible matchup for them. I wonder if it matters. This is kind of where I'm coming down on it. Like McKinnon, Nachos, Makar, do they actually care about matchup? I kind of lean toward no. They're 24,000. When we get a bit later to Edmonton, Draisaitl, McDavid, Bouchard is 24,000. Actually, the exact same price for the 3-man stack. If my clicking is correct. So I'm gonna guess that if that Bouchard dry, whatever you want to call it, is say 12% in aggregate, like 12% of the field has those three clicked. Maybe that's a bit aggressive, but this is going to be 2% at most, and that's purely a matchups thing. And let's take a look at the handy dandy rainbow chart. It's looking fairly good matchups wise.
Yeah.
Because Colorado's been that good. Carolina's been fine, but they've not been excellent. And I'm always inclined to go with the offense over the defense, just from if I'm lining teams up, that's what I care about more, because I want to make sure you have it in your bag before I say, "Oh, get me my bag." And I think Colorado does here.
Sorry, no, call finish.
And I might be a McKinnon slappy because there's a lot of values I like. I just think though, you pay up, you say McKinnon, HS, Makar, you got to get me 75 DraftKings points. And yeah, maybe mix in a Victor Olofsson too for 3,200, but I'm not saying you have to do that if you go this route.
Are you interested in trying to make a game stack work? or is it just too difficult to figure out, you think?
I don't think there's any cheap salary Carolina guys that I'm interested in. Like, I understand the allure of like a Jackson Blake or whatever, but again, I'm just gonna let those guys beat me. If this is the game that they ceiling, then I'll live. You know, like that's kind of where I come down on it, because it just feels like it happens so infrequently with Carolina.
Yeah, I love this game in general. I think we're both on the same page. We like the game more than the field. I like both sides. I agree with everything you said on Colorado as well, but I could go either way here. And I like the idea of trying to figure out a way to play like McKinnon, Nate Choss, Aho, Jarvis, and seeing like if there's any way to make that work. If you play Keandre Miller, that you have a couple pretty big time punts. There are some punts on this slate that we said we like, so that's a lineup build that I'm going to toy with and see if I can make work.
All right. LA and Dallas back on track now, order wise. LA, we're expecting Anze Kopitar to play. So back to Kopitar, Kuzmenko, Kempe, I believe. TBD on LaFerriere or Armia with Byfield, Fiala, and then more Deneau, Fogel. And then Corey Perry also entered the lineup last game for LA. He's back. He played power play 1, but I'm hoping that Anze Kopitar being back, like, just they go back to that 5-man unit that worked for them. So, Corey Perry's still going to get secondary power play time, but the 5-on-5 role is probably non-existent. Really, because of the matchup with Dallas, I'm only interested in these top end guys, power play 1 or bust. Brant Clark is just not getting the sort of role that we need to play him on a 12-game DFS slate. So I'm comfortable not playing him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm comfortable not playing this LA side in general. I get that Dallas hasn't been world beating, but I think I think I'm willing to give them a bit of the benefit of the doubt and avoid what I don't think is a great spot. And it's not a easy way to build a lineup around either of these top 2 lines for LA. And the defense is not getting involved, like you said. I don't know what you're possibly clicking on and feeling good about. And I think there's only more nonsense to come under Jim Hiller than there's going to be, cohesive, smart, options being placed together. At least LaFerriere is back with Byfield and Fiala, but other than that, and we don't even really know if that's true, right? We got to see it to believe it.
We don't know.
I think you just move on.
I want to
say
the
dark side.
Yeah, if you are a Down Goes Brown believer, I believe he had Saturday being the day that Jim Hiller gets fired in his very specific season preview. So, we'll see about that. Unfortunately, their win against St. Louis probably staved that off, but we're teetering more in that direction than we are the LA is good direction, which is sad, but I think reflecting
let me
coach more than
let me ask you, in that riveting 2-1 overtime win, what were the expected goals for either team?
God, 2.6 to 2.2.
Yeah, you are way too kind to both teams. LA had 1.9 and St. Louis had 2.1. I mean, again, okay. I get it. Let's not glean too much of one game, but okay. I do think that's what we're looking at here. And that's why I'm really not all that interested in the other side either. But
I certainly think LA is going to be a driver of that. I'm kind of surprised Dallas profiles similarly, because you watch them defensively, it seems like they're rather unorganized.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know.
That's what it.
But the Dallas side of things,
I feel like we talk about the analytics a lot. It's like the eye test doesn't really like what I see in the math behind Dallas, I'm not seeing with the eye test, right? It's kind of funny where it's like they don't seem to have it together defensively, but the math is saying like it's not that bad. And I think I'm just more inclined to believe they're much better and they're going to continue to get better, and the math is going to kind of even out. But I'll let you get back to your point.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Dallas is we know that if they hit, their production's coming through somewhere. The field got absolutely torched by them, putting up an egg against Columbus, as you know, DJ. I don't think we go into significant ownership here. We get a slightly more expensive Mikko Rantanen, and we get a much more expensive Jason Robertson than last slate. So, if you like to spend your money on really good teams with really high ceilings, we know LA loves to get blown up by star players on the other team. I mean, just think of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl year after year going in and stealing their lunch money. Could Rantanen do the same for a relatively low price at 7,300 with next to no ownership at home? I kind of think so. So I like Rantanen, I like Hintz, I like Heiskanen, I like Harley. Harley's been very good for his 5,100 price tag. It's honestly kind of disrespectful. I'm not saying it's to the point where I'm willing to rebuild a lineup just to get Harley in as one of my defensemen. But man, that's a really good price for an absolute stud on the blue line for fantasy purposes.
Yeah, no, nothing really more to add to it. I think there's sneakiness to Dallas, but I'm not going to get involved with it myself. What will, be a game that is going to catch some eyeballs? I'm sure the total will be pretty high. Is this Montreal on a back-to-back in Edmonton, currently still playing the Flames as of recording? I believe it was 1-0 last I checked. It is still 1-0 halfway through the game.
Would you believe that the Calgary Flames haven't scored a goal yet, DJ? Would you believe that?
That's why I had to double check, because I thought there's no way that could have been true when I initially saw it. So I had to make sure I hadn't. And once it updated and it said, yeah, still only 0 goals, I almost dropped my damn microphone. The prices have come up for Montreal pretty substantially over the course of the, I guess substantially is not the right word. The right word's it's just kind of stepped up a little bit at a time, right? Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Bolduc has gone up 1,000. Lane Hudson went up like 600, erroneously here. And there's not a lot of depth that I'm interested in. So I think I just fade it. I continue to believe Edmonton's a much better team, especially defensively, especially as they get healthier. So yeah, I'm not looking at this Montreal team with really any interest.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the spot on a back-to-back with these prices is just too difficult. You're talking over 20K top line. The depth isn't really circling one guy. Like, I think Doc might actually be hurt. Yeah, I mean, drink, because that seems like that's always the case. But I think he's hurt and out. So don't trust these lines necessarily. But just the prices, you see that and I think Laine's also out. If Laine, I mean, is he even traveling with them? Like, that's not even 3,200. Those insane. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh God, he's getting a second opinion. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, yeah, Patrick Laine's done. Kirby Doc, just assume he's done for the year, and sub in an Owen Beck or whatever, and there you have it. Yeah, there's no depth here to speak of. So not super interested in anything on the Montreal side. And for Edmonton, I mean, we talked about it, the Colorado sneakiness. Like, I mean, Edmonton is priced up. So like, respect to DraftKings for that. They're really making us work for the McDavid Draisaitl stack. I mean, Mangiapane hasn't done anything. Matt Colson got moved up there last game. So let's just put him in. And I don't know what the rest of the lineup shaped up to be. Let's just hope it was Mangiapane, RNH, and Roslow. But we all know what the deal is here with Edmonton, and that's McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard. Jake Wallman was back in the lineup. He had a great game. He's 4,100 if you just like cheap defenders who are going to be 5K sooner than later. I mean, that's a great one right there. But yeah, and did Matt Savoy hold the power play job over Tomacek?
No.
Do you want to talk about Edmonton while I check?
Yeah, he didn't. Okay. He didn't. But I want to. You can start by saying that you can count the amount of points Evan Bouchard has on one finger, because it's one. He's played a lot better than that. I just like, I don't get it, but it's a fact. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that at 6,900, first off, nice. Second off, I'm doing it. Like, people are just going to not click the button. I guarantee it. They're not going to click on it because it makes it infinitely more difficult to play McDry with Bouchard. But I am just sick enough to try. Bouchard has the highest ceiling of any defenseman other than Cale Makar, right? I mean, I
agree.
It's just as high of really a ceiling because of his goal upside. Like,
yeah,
I just have to say that it's going to get better. If you're a Bouchard believer and a Bouchard, stand in this offseason and a drafter in best puck, you're probably just shaking your fist at the air and or getting mad. But I think it's gonna get better. With all that being said, I think there's enough stacks on this slate that I feel like are just better options with the ownership being compared that I just don't do it. Like, I don't know, but I get why you do it. I definitely get why you do it. Montreal in a back-to-back, and it's very, very prohibitively priced. Does that drive you a man insane?
Yeah, I mean, we'll need this Montreal game to end for me to figure out how I feel about the Montreal Canadiens, because your boy is sweating real hard over here. So I'm gonna just leave the takes aside. I think this is obviously very good. The team total is great, and yeah, I'm not expecting it to be sub 10%. So whether it's 15, whether it's 20, whether it's 25, I don't know. I'm not sure that would influence my decision to play it. Because I think there's so many cheap stacks that you're not really going to be fighting, the same throngs of people with the same stack that you want to play cheap. So let's do top stacks, guaranteed goals, and get on out of here. What do you say?
I think we have to do it. I mean, that's what we've signed up for. So I'll start. You know what? Why not? I'm gonna go with that Nashville stack. I think it's obviously Yossi Forsberg, and I think I'm just gonna go back to Jonathan Marchessault. Like he had been very, very good. He's 4,800. That feels really cheap. Of course, confirmed that he's in, confirmed that everything goes according to plan. But if that does come together, that's gonna make my list for sure.
All right. I'm gonna spend a bit more. I'm gonna go Winnipeg 1. Connor Scheifele Velarde.
You know what's gonna happen tomorrow too?
What's that?
The things are going to come out, stochastic and other, simulator type adventures. And it's going to have Forsberg as like the top play of the night. And everyone's going to just clown at me in the Discord.
It's not a Tuesday though, DJ, so you might be safe.
Thank God. Okay. Anyway, what were your stack?
Winnipeg 1. Connor Scheifele Velarde. I'm not afraid of Gabe Velarde's poor output. I know Gabe Velarde, he's a beast, and I will be playing him with those two who are genuinely great plays in Connor and Scheifele.
Yeah, nothing but good things to say about that stack myself. Like I said, I'm very, very in on it. I'm between a couple. I think I'm going to get a little adventurous and go back to Detroit, even though it's a back-to-back. Marco Kasper at 4,400 with that role feels way too cheap, and him with DeBrincat, I think that's a really, really good pairing. With that value in Bright and Michael Brandstad Nygaard, I just think that line is not going to get any ownership versus, like I mentioned, I think a very weak Islanders team. And I get the back-to-back nature, but you know what? That's how I win, baby.
All right, this is how we win. So we established last show that Cutter Gauthier was a BC boy.
That's a fair fact.
Cutter Gauthier is back in Boston here to play the Boston Bruins. I have very little time for the Boston Bruins, but instead of telling you to play Cutter with McTavish, even if what's his face is back in, Chris Kreider, I'm going to say don't forget Leo Carlsson. So I'm just going to pretend Chris Kreider's not playing for a moment and go Leo, Cutter, and Frank Vetrano, who are not a full line stack, but Vetrano gets the boost of the power play job that Kreider vacates. He's 3,700. I mean, there was a time when I was sitting here saying, like, guys, stop playing Frank Vetrano at 6K. Like, stop drafting him at ADP 80 in best puck. Like, this is not that situation anymore. Frank Vetrano is still a donkey chucker. He's going to get shots on goal if he gets the minutes. And so I'm hoping that Chris Kreider stays out of lineup here to really make this work. But I think those three guys in particular give you a great value sort of floor to build a really good lineup around. So yeah, Cutter, Leo, and Frank Vetrano, with Leo and Vetrano being power play 1 with no Chris Kreider, and Cutter and Leo being line 1 with no Chris Kreider. If Chris Kreider plays, keep an eye on it. I don't know. Vetrano with Granlund and Terry probably still could be a value at 3,700, but it makes the go-between of the stack a bit less interesting.
Everything you said was a lot of fun and really, really gets me excited because nobody quacks louder than myself and with the Anaheim Ducks. I did take the first stack. I will concede the first guaranteed goal to you.
How did our
I
goals
will,
do
I will,
yesterday?
1 for 4. The first shot,
4.
I believe, of the entire slate went in for Connor Garland. You did have Nylander had 2 assists, so I'm not going to say that was
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Neiman did nothing, and I just erased my other guy, and he didn't score, but I don't remember who it was now because I just clicked erase. It'll come to me, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it seems like you are telling me I should go first.
If you'd like. If you don't take him, I will, is all I'm going to say. Do you want to think for a minute?
Can
do you have it?
Did I take? No, I haven't taken Kyle Palmieri yet. I'm gonna go Kyle Palmieri. 5,400.
How much is that?
Nice mid.
54.
Yeah, nice mid play. He's doing all the expecteds. None of the some of the actuals actually. But yeah, matchup with Detroit. You took the stack. I like the Islanders side of that game. So give me Kyle Palmieri.
Interesting. Okay. I'll go another direction then. I'll see what you do with your time. I will go, boy. I had a plan, but now I don't know if I want to stick to that plan. I will go.
Everyone has a plan if they get punched in the face with a Kyle Palmieri guaranteed goal.
That is true. You know what? I'll go with Marty Necas 7,400. Like,
okay. DJ having a party out in the streets.
Is he quietly have 5 goals on the season and 11 points? I don't know how quiet it's been, but I believe it's been quiet enough. I'm typing in Colorado instead of Necas. That's exactly what I meant.
Perfect. I guarantee that Colorado scores a goal tomorrow.
Now, do you know where Marty Necas used to play before he played for Colorado?
I mean, folks, this is why you're the best in the business, DJ. This is why.
This is
holy
why
shit. I mean,
okay. Yeah, you're it's pretty crazy how good I am at this.
Yeah, we went through the entire show with absolutely no revenge narrative takes. So thank you for slipping one at the last possible moment, which, oh my God, Kiefer Sherwood back in Nashville. Oh my God.
Shit.
Can we
trying to make it look
Corey
fake.
Perry back in Dallas. Can we erase this?
We have to start the podcast over again. Hello. Welcome.
All right. So I have like this 55-ish 100 range. I don't need all that money. I was telling you, what if the people in your various discords, what if we're all just a bunch of sniveling idiots looking at 6 games and overreacting to it? I read you the list of teams that Matvei Michkov has squared up against so far this season. None of them have a third line that sounds like Nick Cousins, Ridley Gregg, and David Perron. So I'm just going to go Matvei Michkov. Guaranteed goal, power play 1, 5,100. Give it all to me.
That is exactly
back,
what I was thinking.
We are back.
I was going to take him, and then I was like, no, I'm going to let you go first. And then you left yourself enough room that I was like, he's right there for you. I cannot take him now. I'm going to let you get home if you want to get home. Boom. He does it, folks. He does it. Again, never misses. Now, I am going to cheat because I'm a cheating cheater, but this is really for, on top of the fact that this is just a couple $100, we have someone in here, Tua for president. And I just feel like somebody needs to give him an olive branch. Your name is Tua for president. He made the Cleveland Browns look competent. For that reason, for you, I got Mackie Samoskevich, baby. He's scoring.
Okay.
Top power play. Good matchup. Need I say more? Mackie.
Yeah.
We're all going wacky for Mackie.
If you need an extra $100, I think Tua can spare it because he's stealing $50 million a year from the Miami Dolphins at the moment.
Like, at some point, you have to wonder, what the hell is even that?
Yes, I like kitties here. The easel bit. I mean, good God, I watched this sports betting video earlier, which if you're in the Discord and missed it earlier, just go back and find this thing. It is 9 minutes of the most beautiful execution of a sports betting hockey video I've ever seen. You've got this dude on an easel drawing numbers and drawing lines and circles and just telling you to move over-unders to minus 400 bets because they win 90% of the time. I mean, you're getting that sort of alpha dug up for you and handed right to you in the Morningscape Pod Discord. Get in there, get in on the action. DM me at Fake Moods or DJ at _9. Jesus Christ, DJ Mitchell 94. Go ahead.
I added someone during the podcast. I was checking something. I got a notification on Twitter. I was like, "Ooh, is it important?" So welcome to the Discord, Scott Harris. Scott, you're in, baby. Welcome
Beautiful.
in during the show. Do I ever sleep?
While I'm out here just stumbling over your bit, I mean, just absolutely ruining the show with a lack of preparation and execution, you're out here keeping everything going. And I think that's why we keep you around, DJ, no matter what Saul has to say about you. Anything else you want to add before we get out of here? I think DJ froze at the absolute worst time. So I will close it out. Thank you all for listening. Please remember it's a 6:45 Eastern slate lock tomorrow, not 7 o'clock. So have a good Thursday slate. From Doug, from DJ, from myself. Have a good slate, everybody, and we will see you.
You're saying they're looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong.